Hello, Stampers. Welcome. My name is Judi Anderson from judystamps.com, and I'm here to inspire you in your everyday paper crafting. So, welcome to my Happy Stamping Studio. Please say hello as you come in and let me know where you're coming from and let me know what you're doing today. Today, I am going to be sharing a masculine card, and it's a layout that I actually am using in my to go classes this month. And it's a fun layout. And the girls were asking me if I could come up with a masculine card for this particular layout. And I said, sure. And that I would bring it to you today on my live. So we're going to be using the Adventurous Sky stamp set. This stamp set does have coordinating dies. You can buy them individually or in a bundle. And I am also going to be using the Take to the Sky Designer Series paper. Um, this is a really cool masculine and of paper, sorry. And also, like some of the patterns like this one here, I could see using for fall cards, and this one here for a fall card or even a winter card, Christmas cards. It's just got some really cool patterns in it besides the airplanes. And this one here is quite interesting, and I've used it quite often on some cards with some animals and stuff. I've made it kind of like a stone wall. And this one here is great if you have any aquatic stamp sets like seashells or fish or octopus. We've had several in the past, or even with some of, oh, sorry, I have something in my throat. Um, it's just an interesting background for that. And this sheet here is a bunch of tags, and you could use for scrapbooking for some added interest to scrapbook pages or cards. I just find it so interesting. There's a couple with planes on it and clouds, and the back of this one is a gray plaid, which also is good for winter cards, fall cards, masculine cards, all kinds of cards. So don't just think of that designer series paper as airplanes. And then also, it is part of our 15% off designer series papers this month. And don't forget to use your bonus day coupons. Several of you purchased through me and made purchases last month, and get those codes out and use them to save even more on your designer series paper. Also, today we released two more kits in our kits collection. One is a card for the upcoming Christmas holidays, and then the other one is a haunted house for Halloween. You actually make the house. I actually ordered them last night with my pre-order for the next mini catalog coming out, and I even quick shipped it. So it should be coming tomorrow. So I'll have it in time for this weekend's Scrapbook Expo. So my colors I'm going to be using are Mossy Meadow, Boho Blue, and Cajun Craze. I am also have the Boho Blue and Cajun Craze Stampin' Blends to color. My card base is Mossy Meadow. We're going to be using a layer of basic white for the inside mat and for the front mat. And then I have two squares here. And these squares we're going to cut in half. And I do want to talk a little bit about that and give you a couple hints. If you are using a directional paper. So what I mean by that is like, hang on. So like these clouds. So if you're using something, because you don't want these clouds to be upside down, you want to pay attention to the direction of the diagonal. Okay. So we are going to be cutting these on a diagonal. We're going to put one in the top left corner or one in the bottom right corner. So when you look at this, this paper really doesn't matter which way I cut it, but with a directional piece of cardstock or designer series paper, it will matter. So when you have your square, so we're going to imagine this is a square. Imagine this is your top left and this is your bottom right. So we're going to cut it, we cut it on a diagonal this way. Because if we cut it this way, you would just do it the opposite. This would be the top right and this would be the bottom left. Because if you flipped it around to make it the diagonal like we're doing today, our clouds would be upside down. Okay, so pay attention to that. So I have you can make these squares whatever size you want to make them. And I'm going to take them over here, to my paper trimmer. And I'm going to line up the two corner tips into my cutting channel. Hold that down and then just slice it, okay? Now this piece is a 1/4 inch larger and we're going to do the same thing. And since it's plain cardstock, it really doesn't matter which way you cut it because you could just flip it over. Okay, so that's all the cutting I'm going to be doing today. We are going to be adhering these, and what I do is we're going to be putting these onto a mat, one of the white mats. So I imagine which way it's going to go. So when I put them together, I know which piece is which. And this, with these planes, because they're going in all directions, it doesn't matter. But if, once again, if you have directional designer series paper, it does matter. If you want the corners like I am doing them today. Like I said, you could do them in the opposite corners, and I'll show you that today also. And this is a great way to use up some of those smaller paper scraps that you have. Now, I'm always telling you guys, use what you have and use up those scraps because those scraps take up room in our craft areas. Whoops. Okay, I like wiggle room, but I didn't want that to wiggle. Okay, there we go. We're going to adhere that. So, like I was saying, we're going to be putting these here and here. Okay, but let's say it was directional and you cut them wrong. You would just have to make them so that they were right, and you would do it the opposite way. So that's possible too. So just depends on which way you want your words to go and your images. Okay, so we have those. So I'm just going to hold those here right now, and now I'm going to stamp some images. And I want to stamp a plane on here, and you could do a large plane so it was coming off the edge, but I want this plane coming down like this. Okay. So, and then I am going to be doing my words. So let me get my block. And we're going to use a little bit of clouds. And that's where the boho blue comes in. And we have 2 sizes of clouds, or 3 sizes. We have the large one, but I'm going to use the 2 smaller ones today. We don't need the large one. So I'm going to fit these in to fill some space up. And then the words I'm going to be using today is on the front, I'm going to put your plain, you're the best, plain and simple. So let's get you're the best, plain and simple. Oh, I guess I could use a smaller block. I was thinking I was going to do them both. So I'm going to line that up just like that. Make it a little bit straighter. Okay, so I'm going to just lay these here. And it's up to you if you want to leave a little bit of a border on the outside. I'm going to today. So I'm just going to line those up so I can kind of imagine. So what you could do you're the best, plain and simple. You could line your stamps up here and decide if you want your plane. You could do 2 planes, and I think I'm going to do 2 planes. I'm going to do one up here and one down here, and then we'll fill in with the clouds. So I'm going to take my mossy meadow. And I'm going to stamp my plane in the mossy meadow. So I'm going to put him right here. Just even pressure. And the other one down here. I'm going to do it a little bit lower. Okay. And then for the words, I am going to use the Cajun Craze. Get the Cajun Craze. And we are going to, so I'm just using these to line it up. You could, a lot of times, I put that paper on no matter what, but I wasn't sure if I was going to have my clouds going underneath a little bit. And I really didn't know until I put this all on here. Okay, you're the best, plain and simple. In their Cajun Craze, we're going to grab our boho blue, grab our stamps, and I am just going to stamp some clouds. And it's okay if it goes off. Okay, we're going to put one up here. And then let's put a small one right here. I don't want to do it even. I don't want to do even across. Okay, so we have those on. So what I'm going to do next is I want to color just a few of the parts of the plane. I'm not going to color it all. I just want a couple of highlights. So on one, I like using our bullet tips on our Stampin' Blends. So I am going to do the wings. Right like that with the Cajun Craze. And right down here. And then let's do the two tail right there. Okay, so I'm going to take the dark part of the Cajun Craze and just do right here, just lightly, where the artist has drawn those darker areas. Okay, so that one is going to be the Cajun Craze. The other one is going to be colored with the boho blue. And I'm using the light first. And then I will go in and color my shadows with the dark boho blue. As you can see, this is really quick to color. And you can color the entire plane if you want. You could do one large plane here if you wanted. Okay, just like that. Oh, you know what? I am coloring the planes. I'm going for it. So I'm just going to color them the opposite. I forgot the wing over here. You wouldn't have to color these at all if you didn't want to. I want to take my Cajun Craze and go right around where the propeller is. Okay. We got the wing right there. So this one is going to be the Cajun Craze. Just do it the opposite. You know, I never know until I actually do my card, actually how I want to do it. Okay, I want to do the blue in the front. So I don't want to color that. So let's get our boho blue for that little ring around the propeller. And then we'll color the wing on that side. Okay, so that's it for the coloring on the front. So we're going to go ahead and adhere these corners. And like I said, I decided I want to leave a little bit of a reveal. Not much, just a little bit. Put it on there, press it down, and see that cloud is going up into there. That's why I stamped it before I put these down. But sometimes when I'm designing cards or making cards, I don't know quite what I want, and I'm always adding things to my cards, and then I'll have the pieces down and then decide, oh, I want to stamp something here. Okay, so that is the front of our card, but we want to make the inside of our card just as special. So we are going to do our happy birthday on the inside on our basic white mat. And once again, reaching for my Cajun craze. How are you guys doing? Good morning. Hello. Yes. Masculine cards, I know. It seems like I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm not going to center this one on the inside of the card. Okay. Yeah, it just seems like masculine cards are the cards that I don't make often. I make them as I need them. Yeah, I am just like the rest of you. I'm going to put this plane right here. Line up like that. Get our boho blue and add a cloud or two. And do this one right here. And don't forget to stamp your envelopes, you guys. Nobody likes naked envelopes, as we call them. Okay, put those two there. And now this inside of this card is going to have extra meaning, right? So let's do our Cajun craze. We are going to do the wings, the Cajun craze. Do that. And yes, I am actually coloring that because that is actually the propeller, and the propeller is going around and you can see through it as it's whirling around, right? So we want to make sure we do color underneath and on the other side of it. Oh, I hope that alarm isn't bothering you. Got my CGM on and it's lost contact to my phone. And I left my phone upstairs on purpose just in case that happened. Just dab this in this corner right here. Okay, and we're going to grab our card base. Yeah, this is an easy layout. Fold it on that score line. And you know, I could have used the dies for this card too, but another request I had is a card using the stamp set without the dies in case you need a quick card and didn't want to have to cut the dies. Now, a little secret is whenever I do cut dies for this one, I will cut extra pieces and I have them in here just so I have some ready to go. And that also helps me determine the colors my cards are going to be. I can switch it up a little bit. Okay, this is the front. And as you can see, this is why the gals are loving this layout in the 3 for $20 this month. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? And it's so simple. You could change this to happy birthday and put you're the best plain and simple on the inside instead. Just, you know, mix up your sentiments. Well, thanks. So you guys are liking this layout. So yes, I do it with flowers. I do it with animal prints. I do it with plaids and stripes. You know, I thought of doing a fall card, but I'm not quite ready for fall yet. But I could use the same color combination and do it with leaves. And then, you know, I could have even cut out the small plane because there is a die to cut the small plane out, and we could have stuck him even down here if we wanted, or up there. So use your imagination with this layout. It's really quick, a great way to use your designer series papers up. what I did in class this month is with the papers I used, everybody got a different color card base. And I switched the colors up for them. But they were the three primary, two or three primary colors that they were using. So when they stamped, whatever they stamped went with that designer series paper. So if you're a demonstrator and you do classes, don't feel that, oh, I only have two pieces of 3x3 paper, let's say, of the designer series paper. Just find some papers with the same color combinations, and then everybody's card is unique. So I hope you guys like this card today. Here's a close-up of it. And here is the inside. And we will see you again next week. Until then, happy stamping, everybody. Goodbye.